Hello and welcome to another session on The Edge of Us. Today we're going to be talking about how we can love people who are different from us. People who dress different or act different or think different or look different or vote different. What does it look like to love people who are different from us and love them well? What does Jesus have to say about that? Let's check it out. So, if we look around us in the world today, I believe there's a lot of division. Would you agree? In fact, some might think newsflash, right? Whether I be from the US to my home country of Nigeria, whether I be about police brutality or about election fever, there's a lot of division at most places that we look. And yet Jesus calls those who follow him to be radically different. In fact, he goes as far as to say that his followers are the light of the world and the salt, the very flavor of the earth. Those are huge statements. And Jesus is saying to his followers that they are to live so radically differently that where there is brokenness, Jesus' followers are to bring healing. Where there is darkness, they should bring light. Where there is chaos, they should bring order. Where there is disunity, there should be voices for unity, bringing unity. And where there is falsehood, they are to bring light. That doesn't mean, I must add, that one turns a blind eye to injustices or wrongdoings, but that you come at things differently. Examples of people who came at difficult situations with different people of different views differently, Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi, who came at situations with love but not with hate in their hearts. Jesus gives us an example of what this looks like in a story he told that is recorded in the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 to 37 in the Bible. And Jesus says in the story, through the story, what it looks like to love in spite, across differences. And I truly believe that to do this well, we need the love of God in our hearts. So Jesus tells the story of a man from Israel who is traveling on a dangerous road that is really well known to be a hotspot for robbers. Indeed, this man gets robbed and is left by the roadside to die. And while he's there dying on the road, two men come by. The first man coming by can be seen in today's terms and as a senior pastor of a church, also from that nation of Israel, like the man who was by the roadside. So he came by, he saw the man, he passed on by. Later on, the second man came by. It could be seen today as a politician or a distinguished educator or even a respected elder or leader in a church. He came by, he saw the man by the roadside, and he passed on by. Then a third man came by. This man that came by is not like from the nation of Israel, like the man by the side of the road or the two men who had gone before him. This third man is from the nation of Samaria. And now he comes, he sees this man who needs help, and he has compassion on him. Now this is very special because I must call out that the man who's by the roadside and this man who's trying to help him are from two different countries that did not see eye to eye at all. In fact, the man by the roadside is from the nation of Israel, and the Israelite people see the Samaritans, the nation from which the helper is coming, as descendants of traitor Israelites who had married and intermingled with a conquering force or army or nation many, many years ago. So they have nothing to do with them. Israelites will not even pass through the towns of Samaritans. And yet this Samaritan comes by, he sees a situation where help is needed. It is a dangerous road, but he sees that he can help, putting himself perhaps in some danger waiting there on that road, and he seeks to help the man. He binds up his wounds, he puts him on his vehicle, he takes him to the hospital, he pays all the bills for his treatment. And Jesus is telling us in that, what does love look like? Was it about being from the same group or tribe? Was it about the big people, the special people in your group or tribe? That's not where love came from in this story. love came from, where true love was shown in this case, was the man who looked across societal differences, who looked across cultural dictates, who looked across differences in view and in lifestyle and even in ways of worship. He saw help and he stepped in to help. And that is true love, to see someone that you can help in any way and to step in to help them in any tiny, little, much way that you can. Now, that does not mean condoning everything that someone does, but that you are able to step in to help them where you can, even if it is just a prayer for them, for the family, or for their heart. So, how do we help? How do we love people who are very different or just different from us? Let me tell you what helps me. I truly believe that every person on this earth is loved by God just like I am. And when you believe that, you look at people not through the lens of differences, you look at them through the lens of God's love for them. And you then love them accordingly. So, in closing, my prayer for you and for me is that we look at people and see God's love for them and let that help us to love them as God will have us do, regardless of whether, for instance, people in your circles or even vastly separated from your circles who look different, act different, think different, vote different, we're able to love those people knowing that God loves them too. That's all on this session of The Edge of Us. I pray that you and I are going to be able to do that. And I want to remind you, as we always say on The Edge of Us, that at the edge of our abilities, at the edge of our gifts, at the edge of our strengths, that is where life happens, because that's where we get to encounter and partake in the power, the victory, and the awesomeness of God. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, please don't forget to subscribe so you're notified as we put out new videos, and you can share this with your friends as well. Thank you so much. Bye for now.